now looking to be the first man into the second semi-final. Well, it's the number 2 seed against the number 2 Swede, Mensur Suljovic of Austria, against Magnus Caris, who has been Sweden's best player for many years, but sits behind Daniel Larsson in the rankings. But he's having a fabulous weekend, the best he's had for more than a couple of years here. Can he provide a threat to the gentle Mensur Suljovic? We're about to find out, and Dan Dawson will be talking us through it.
Yeah, well, the number 1 seed, the number 12 seed, both through. A strange quarter-final lineup with 4 unseeded players, 1 in each quarter of the draw. It could well be 4 seeded players making up the semi-finals. The opening semi will be Wright versus Smith. Can Caris pull off a shot? Can the jammy dodger, James Wilson, overturn Daryl Gurney? Last remaining quarter-final. Well, Mensur Suljovic has already seen off Alan Taban and Christo Reyes, but Magnus Caris, what a set of results. He's not just beaten the top player in Gibraltar, Dyson Parodi, the most consistent player on the European Tour of late, apart from Peter Wright, Yellow Class.
First leg is Mensur to throw first. Game on.
But Caris has also seen off Benito van der Pas, and he's not just beaten Parodi, Klaassen and van der Pas one after another. He has beaten them convincingly. He has only dropped 6 legs.
100.
Quite astonishing set of results.
Certainly is, from Magnus Caris, who we haven't seen much of late. He did qualify for the World Championship for the first time in 4 years, actually. But he was beaten in straight sets by Adrian Lewis. We don't see much of Magnus anymore. But when he does turn up, he does give players a run for the money. But as you said, it's not just been a run for the money today. He's been dominant.
140.
Maybe a different story against Mensur Suljovic, who's already given one of his trademark thumbs up to some fans at the back of the hall here in Gibraltar.
84.
He does walk around with a smile on his face, doesn't he, Mensur? Always looks like he's enjoying his job. Not many of his opponents enjoy playing against him.
Oh, there were some who were particularly displeased
80.
when they see their name next to Mensur Suljovic on the schedule. Magnus, after beating Benito earlier on this afternoon in the last 16, was asked about the prospect of facing Mensur. And he said, yeah, I've played him a few times and he always beats me, so he'd better watch out.
60.
Yeah, well, just a couple of times could find in the research before this game. Once in 2015, once in 2016. Suljovic did come out on top on both of those occasions.
139. And you require 121.
Caris has left himself very handily placed here, so Suljovic might have to take this out, and he may well do.
Oh, you know what that leaves. The Mensur.
93.
It's one that he's missed. He wasn't missing it earlier on today.
He's sulking in the background as he stomps off there. Caris to take advantage. He'll be going 18 tops.
So close.
18.
And that wasn't far away either, but you can't let Mensur have 3 darts at double 14. Doppel 14 Mensur Angst. There's even a word for it. The feeling of dread you get. Stood behind Mensur, waiting for him to hit double 14, because he inevitably does. And there we go. The funky chicken celebration from Mensur.
What a man, Mensur Suljovic. Starting maverick, does everything his own way, doesn't he?
He holds the darts his own way, he throws the darts his own way.
43.
On stage, there's nobody quite like Mensur. And as we've already alluded to, that's a relief for a number of top players. I'm thinking mainly of Gary Anderson, who has been quite open and honest about
140.
his basically hatred of having to play Mensur Suljovic.
There are 1 or 2 seem to thrive against Suljovic. I know that Mark Webster's got a decent record.
Yes, he does.
That brought his fantastic
121.
2016 to a shuddering end at Alexandra Palace, didn't he, Webster?
Well, yeah, I should point out that Mensur, I know he has his idiosyncrasies, and he is sometimes one of the slowest players on the circuit. Not always. He does vary his speed and how quickly he takes on the hockey. But the primary reason that even a lot of the top players don't like playing Mensur Suljovic is because he beats them. Because he plays phenomenal darts. Averaged 104 in the first round against Alan Tabben. Only averaged 93 against Cristo Reyes, but he hit more than half his darts at double, which for this tournament has been absolutely spectacular. Not many players who've been finishing as well as Mensur Suljovic, and it is the finishing that has helped him up to number 9 in the world rankings, where he currently sits.
This is true, and he could set up,
60.
tee up another chance to take aim at double 14.
And the thing is with Mensur, because he loves double 14, this is quite a natural route to go for him. Double 17 for Bull now.
62.
Okay, well, using the bullseye there, the 25 means he gets down below 61, so he's should be guaranteed 2 darts at the double. Round from Pokerface there.
41.
Well, he might end up getting as many darts as he wants at the double.
Game shot on the second leg.
Well, he only needs 1 dart at it in the end. It is 2-0 to the Austrian. A break of throw as well, and Mensur just going about his business and having seen off Dyson Parodi, Jelle Klaassen and Benito van der Pas, 2 of the top Dutch players in the game, as well as the top Gibraltar player. A man who, of course, nearly beat Michael van Gerwen here last year, Dyson Parodi. Do not just discount him because he's a host nation qualifier here at the Gibraltar Darts Trophy. We've seen what Dyson's capable of doing, and Magnus just shut him down.
I'm sure many of us were guilty of looking at the draw and thinking, oh, Parodi's got a chance for another win on his home stage.
Well, quite. You only have to look at Magnus's Euro Tour record. He's not special. Never made the final day before. Certainly never made the final session. Admittedly, he's a heavy second favourite to make the semi-finals to go any further, but then again, he was a heavy second favourite to get past any of his games, apart from maybe that first one. I mean, he's not dominating the Scandinavian rankings. Kim Viljanen is dominating that, and even then, it's his fellow Swede Daniel Larsson. Marco Cantili's above him in the rankings.
Suljovic looking for a match, gets one. That's the first we've seen in this contest, after seeing a bucket load in the previous one.
Well, could this weekend turn out to be the platform upon which Mensur Suljovic launches an assault on the rest of the season? Because he has had some runs here and there. A couple of quarterfinals on the European Tour and the floor events. He's made a quarter and a semi. As Magnus fills it up for his first maximum.
Well, should Suljovic miss, Caris has a chance.
Oh, well. 15 off, 53 remain. That'll be tops.
Game shot on the third leg. Mensur Suljovic.
Mensur seems to be in one of those moods where whatever he leaves, anything sort of 100 or below, he's may only get 1 dart at a double, but that is all he needs.
Yeah, Magnus must have thought he had a bit of a result when Suljovic misfired with the first dart, but he tidied it up perfectly. And every leg he's just... It seems like he's had the throw in every leg.
Yeah, he's always a visit behind, isn't he? But then again, the averages, there's the best part of 20 points between them. So 20 points per visit. There you go, 18 points per visit.
68.
You kind of are a visit behind by the time you're getting down to a double.
Magnus Caris, a man who's rocked up at the World Championship. 5 times a PDC World Championship, that is, and 5 times he's failed to win a match, although he did once come very close against Steve Beaton and then decided to have a bit of a set 2 with the crowd at Ali Fali.
Yeah, mentioned that earlier on this afternoon, and that was perhaps an illustration why Pokerface is not one of the most appropriate nicknames in world darts for Magnus.
100.
Yeah, it was 2 sets up, wasn't he? Missed darts to whitewash Steve Beaton and ended up losing the match 3-2. Well, they did reach a semi-final in the BDO World Championship, edged out by Bobby George.
Yeah, so when it comes to World Championships and big games at them, Magnus does not have a great record against ridiculously tanned men.
140.
140, though, gives him a sniff of a chance to get a first leg on the board.
We know he doesn't have a good record against Mensur Suljovic.
Magnus require 133.
133 plays 141. Now, even if he doesn't take it out, he would really fancy himself to come back. But you know what? Don't take that chance.
Well, he's going to have to.
93. Mensur require
Sets it up very nicely. Mensur. Can he? No, he can't.
60. Magnus require 40.
A double top. Well, that's low. Pokerface. Pair of 10s.
Game shot on the 4th leg.
Well, there it is. And he's off the mark.
First, game on.
Well, it's something for the Swede. How many more chances will he get? Did miss a couple of darts at tops earlier on, of course. So he could have grabbed an extra leg. We could be at a level game at 2 apiece. But as this tournament goes on, you've seen the standard rise as the tournament has gone on, as you would expect. I mean,
83.
Tonight already, we've had 4 guys on here, 399 averages and 101. 2 of those guys losing with 99 averages. We saw in the last game of the afternoon session, Simon Whitlock averaged almost 99, and he only got 4 legs against Dowell Gurney. Such was the performance from the Northern Irishman. We'll see if he can carry that on and make it through to a second Euro Tour final of his career. This isn't good, though. Oh, no. It is a nightmare visit for Magnus Caris.
Well, we just saw Dimitri Vandenberg there cheering on Mensur Suljovic in the management stable. There are a few dart players who have stayed on and turned up to the venue tonight and are watching on with interest, having had to pack their arrows away for the night. Cristo Reyes is one of them, and he's wished Suljovic best of luck in his own way on social media.
140.
Well, there is that suggestion that if you beat Cristo in a tournament, you stand a very good chance of going on and winning the title. It's happened on more than one occasion of late. Admittedly, most of the time he's been losing to Michael Van Gerwen and Peter Wright, so, you know.
One of the top 2 seeds.
Yeah. Mensur is one of the top 2 seeds, with no Michael Van Gerwen here this weekend. Still had 5 of the world's top 10 here this weekend. Just no Michael Van Gerwen, no Adrian Lewis, no Gary Anderson does not mean that there's no merit in going on and claiming this title. Far from it. 71 checkout. Going to use all 3 darts.
55.
Still can't quite take it out, Mensur Suljovic. He knows he'll be back, looking to extend his lead to 4-1. Go within 2 legs of the semi-final place against either Dowell Gurney or James Wilson. It is looking increasingly likely that in the first 3 quarter-finals, the unseeded players will fail to come through, and it may all be on the shoulders of James Wilson to see if we can see one of the qualifiers keep their hopes alive.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that visit of 11 in this leg has really cost Magnus Caris. Unless Suljovic does miss another dart.
Game shot.
But he does not.
Mensur Suljovic. Second leg is Magnus to throw first.
He does a wonderful line in histrionics, Mensur Suljovic. You see the headbutt, you see the wild gesticulations. That one was a new one. We had a new one last weekend, didn't we, where he just vogued, just gave us a statue impression.
Yeah, it was incredible. Just fired in 3 big trebles, raced up the hockey and at the halfway line just stopped dead completely for about 4 seconds.
Who knows what's going through that big Austrian's head?
If he ever packs up darts, he could, enter Austria's Got Talent as some kind
105.
of bizarre performing mime artist or something.
Well, it's an option. Used to be a publican, Mensur. That baton has been passed to a new generation of Austrian dart player. He flogged the pub to Roby John Rodriguez in his brother.
Yeah, it was called the Gentle, wasn't it? Which is why he's got that nickname, but they've renamed it to the Sherwood Forest, is it?
I believe that's right. I know there's a Robin Hood theme.
100.
Mensur now has his own online dart shop. Excellent service. Deliver it exactly where it's supposed to go, but it will take a while. Now, Magnus. This would get him to a finish.
100.
And it does get him to a finish. A second maximum for magnificent Magnus.
Yeah, that's not the official line on the website. Dan Dawson pitching to handle his PR.
100. Magnus to require 161.
Well, 161 having got to a finish. Can he take it out? Doesn't need to in this visit, but he might well do anyway. Treble 17. Will he go for the bull? Go on, Magnus. Go for the bull.
136.
Fair few people in this crowd pulling exactly the same face as Pokerface just there. Denied another massive checkout this weekend.
Magnus should require 25.
A somewhat smaller one facing Magnus Caris here to make it 4-2. Double 8 the target. And the target is hit for a 14 dart leg. Magnus Caris is not done just yet.
A couple of maxes in the match for Magnus. They need a couple more at least to apply some pressure onto Suljovic, and especially against a throw. But he has found a bit of a zone, hasn't he, in the last few visits. The 180 was followed by a missed shot at the bullseye for a 161.
123.
Again, Pokerface, anything but Wallace and Gromit.
Having said that, if we didn't know the story about why Suljovic has got his nickname, that would be a completely ridiculous one as well.
Well, I mean, I think you might argue that it's still a ridiculous nickname. The Gentle versus Pokerface. You've got one man who is anything but gentle and one man who's got nothing like a Pokerface. I mean, who cares?
Yeah, and we've got
82.
Jammy Dodger and Super Chin coming up next, so let's not get into that debate, because it could be a hell of a long one.
Yeah, it could be. And look how the averages have come together, though. Mensur Suljovic was 18 points higher in the average at one point. He was a full visit ahead by the end of each leg. But there's only a couple of points in it now. The overall average.
There's only a couple of points in the board there, because one of them bounced out. Caris has a chance to make some progress, apply some pressure, get down to a finish.
Oh, and another one of those would have left him the 156, which we saw Magnus Caris take out.
$95.
Well, in the end, Suljovic is only down to 141, so Caris has still got a decent advantage here.
$100.
Would have liked another treble, but would expect to be back. Took his time taking the darts out there, old Pokerface, serving it up to Suljovic.
71 remains, so he doesn't find the treble 13 he's after. 96 for a break of throw. 26 remain. He could go double-double. He doesn't. He tried to find the treble 20. He was unable to do so.
I think that's a fairly old-school ploy these days to stay on the treble. 2 darts in hand, 2 big targets. Will he be made to pay?
18. Magnus require 40.
This game looked as if it was just Mensur's to run away with. At 4-1 up. But Magnus Caris is finding a way to claw his way back. He is throwing to level the match at 4-all now. And could this incredible run continue for the Swede?
Well, who would have thought this at the start of this weekend? We knew there was a strong chance of having a new name on the Gibraltar Darts Trophy. With only James Wade in the field that had won it before. We didn't suspect that new name might be someone like Magnus Caris.
Well, go back to the last time we held this tournament, and Dyson Parodi, the man Magnus beat in the opening round here, he made the quarterfinals and he missed darts to beat Michael van Gerwen, who went on to win it. Had he hit that match dart against Michael van Gerwen, who knows what would have happened.
Yeah, well, he would have beaten the top player in his half of the draw, and that's what Magnus Caris is trying to do here.
Yeah. We could see a similar situation here. We could see Magnus Caris, an international qualifier,
140.
get match darts against the top seeded player in his half and blow this tournament. I mean, look, Peter Wright is still the favourite to win it. We know that, but he's going up against the 3-time Euro Tour winner Michael Smith.
60.
It is not a gimme that Peter Wright is going to come through that. It's not a gimme that whoever comes through this goes on to beat either James Wilson or Darrell Gurney. But if Magnus Caris has already taken out the 10th seed and the 7th seed, and he were to take out the number 2 seed, just the belief that he must have. But there is still a lot of work to do, because Mensur is down to a finish, albeit a big one. It's a great one when it goes in.
134.
2 big trebles, and Magnus Caris is not going quietly.
That is a fantastic last dart from Magnus Caris to apply some pressure. Will he stay there? Well, again, he does look good, but there's the option, isn't there, for treble 14 there?
It looked like there was a lot of room in there, to be fair.
108.
Well, there was more room in the treble 14.
124.
However, it may not matter, because he's down to 24 in the end, and Caris needs a big treble and a bullseye himself, which he doesn't get.
56.
But it turns out to be a fabulous setup shot from the Austrian.
Well, is this going to snuff out the Swedes' revival?
It
may well do. Mensur Suljovic doesn't look that happy about it, but it does put him within a leg of the semi-finals.
Almost looked as if he hit the double, but his opponent had won the leg there, Suljovic.
Not how it works, Mensur. Not made a semi-final on the European Tour this year, Mensur. He's had a couple of quarter-finals and a couple of last 16s. Last time he did make a semi-final was in the final European Tour event of last year in Hildesheim.
121.
He ended up losing in a deciding leg to the eventual winner, Alan Norris. Of course, his one PDC title did come on the European Tour. That was in Riesa in September. Admittedly, he had some fortune. Kim Huybrechts missing a whole host of darts for the title in that final. But Mensur got the job done. And he may well be getting the job done in this leg. Not really sure why he switched down in that instance.
He didn't seem to take his eyes off the treble 20, and last second the chimp in his brain just decided to go downstairs, Mensur.
140.
He's going to get to a finish here, Mensur.
105.
And that is a 136 finish. Magnus Caris He is not done just yet, but he is very close to being beaten and seeing his challenge at the Gibraltar Darts Trophy brought to an end by the number 2 seed. It has been a heroic
59.
run from Magnus Caris.
136.
And you feel he had to hit a treble there to really apply some kind of pressure to this 136. It's not going to go, but if Magnus Caris is going to keep his hopes alive, he's going to have to do it in some style.
We've seen a 170 this weekend. Daryl Gurney produced it in the very first leg he played this weekend. A 167 in this situation for Magnus Caris could well be shot of the tournament, but it's not going to happen, and Mensur Suljovic gets match darts to book his place in a semi-final on the European Tour for the first time in 2017. The European Championship runner-up is looking at double top.
Well, 1 missed. 2 missed, but he rarely misses 3, and Mensur Suljovic is through to the semi-finals and will take on the winner of our next match, which is James Wilson against Daryl Gurney. Magnus Caris has had a fabulous weekend here in Gibraltar.
Mensur, das war ein sehr, sehr schwieriges Spiel, war.
Sehr schwieriges Spiel. Ich kenne Caris seit Jahren, er ist ein super Spieler und heute ist er wirklich weit gekommen. Er hat meinen Freund besiegt, jede Klassen, und ich habe gehofft, dass ich auch gegen ihn gewinne, wenn ich meinen Freund Christo Reus besiegt habe, und ich bin so happy.
Dit is dein erster Halbfinale im Euro Tour 2017. Kunnen Sie auch die Finale erreichen?
Ich hoffe es. Ich bin so froh, dass ich da stehe, und alles weitere ist super für mich.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's in the semi-final. Mensur Suljovic.